Hello YouTube and welcome back to another edition of 3 Wide. This week I'll be doing a New Hampshire preview since I missed the Kentucky race. The stats I'll be using for this will be from the last 4 races. So I'm going to start it off with the top 5 in average finish along with their stats in the last 4 New Hampshire races. Number 5 is Brad Keselowski. In the last 4 New Hampshire races, Brad's averaged an 8th place finish with 2 top 5s and 3 top 10s. Now in 4th is a tie between 2 drivers. First we have Martin Truex Jr. In the last 4 New Hampshire races, Martin Truex Jr. has an average finish of 7.8 where he has 2 top 5s and 3 top 10s. He's also led 513 laps out of a possible 1,202, which is the most among active drivers in the Cup Series. The driver tied with him for 4th is Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson also has a 7.8 average finish along with 2 top 5s and 3 top 10s. Number 3 is Daniel Suarez. In his 2 attempts at New Hampshire last year, he averaged a finish of 7th, where he finished 6th in the first race and 8th in the second race. Number 2 is Kyle Busch. The last time the Cup Series was at New Hampshire, it was Kyle Busch in Victory Lane who won the second race in 2017. He has an average finish of 6th. Along with that, he got 2 top 5s and 3 top 10s and has led 418 out of a possible 1,202 laps, which is the second most in the Cup Series. And number 1 is Matt Kenseth. The winner of the first race in 2016, Matt Kenseth has a 2.5 average finish along with 4 top 5s and 4 top 10s. He led 147 of the possible 1,202 laps. Now with Kenseth being in the number 6 Roush car, I don't believe he'll be continuing on with these stats. But if you're in a fantasy league and you only have a limited number of usages on people, maybe Kenseth can get a top 10 or top 15 in that car on his past runs at New Hampshire and can save some usage from one of the big 3 guys that you would more than likely want to use. The rest of the top 6 in terms of laps led are Denny Hamlin, who led 59 of the possible 1,202 laps. He also won the first race in 2017. Number 5 was a surprising one to me, and it was Danica Patrick, who led 9 laps of the possible 1,202, and 6th was her teammate at the time, Kevin Harvick, who led 8 laps of the possible 1,050 that he completed at New Hampshire. He also won the second race in 2016. So now with all that being said, I'll get into my 3 things to look ahead to this week at New Hampshire. Number 1. Will the multi-grooves come into play? As it was announced today, New Hampshire is spraying down that traction grip spray, the PJ1, to help spread out the groove. Now hopefully this will help the groove widen out and give people chances to pass throughout the turns. As we've seen this year, tracks with multiple grooves have produced some pretty great racing. And as we saw at Bristol, this PJ1 can really make one line better than the other. And maybe this could be a faster paced Martinsville race. Now I wouldn't get your hopes up for that, but that's something maybe this PJ1 could help do and make New Hampshire a better race. Number 2, can Martin Truex Jr. finally break through at New Hampshire? As stated before in the stats, Martin Truex Jr. is tied for 4th among average finishers of active Cup drivers, and he leads the active Cup drivers with the most laps led. In the last 4 races at New Hampshire, Martin Truex Jr. has finished 16th, 7th, 3rd, and 5th, along with leading 100 plus laps in those 4 races. He also won the pole for the first race in 2017. Now we'll see if Truex can check this off his list of tracks to win at in the Northeast in the Cup Series. And number 3, can a non-winner from this season break through at New Hampshire? If we look at people who have won at New Hampshire who are still active in the Cup Series, only 4 people who have won this year have won at New Hampshire in the past. And they are Kyle Busch, who won in 2006, 2015, and 2017, Kevin Harvick, who's won there twice in 2006 and 2016, Joey Logano, who's also won there twice, getting his first win in 2009 and in 2014, and Clint Bowyer, who's also won there twice, who won in 2007 and 2010. Drivers who have won there in the past but haven't won this season are Ryan Newman, who's won there 3 times, 2002, 2005, and 2011, Kurt Busch, who swept both races in 2004 and won 1 race in 2008, Jimmy Johnson, who's won there 3 times where he swept both races in 2003 and won 1 race in 2010, Denny Hamlin, who's also won there 3 times where he won in 2007, 2012, and 2017, Matt Kenseth, who's also won there 3 times in more recent history where he's won in 2013, 2015, and 2016, and Casey Kane's won there once back in 2012, and Brad Keselowski won there back in 2014. So now with all those past winners who haven't won this season, along with some guys who have some decent stats, such as Kyle Larson and Daniel Suarez, I feel like there's a decent chance that someone new could get their first win of the season at New Hampshire. So now with all that being said, my picks for this week, as a dark horse, I would go with Matt Kenseth. He has the stats to back it up and maybe could get you a decent finish. A mid-level guy, I would go with Denny Hamlin. He's won there 3 times in the past and he's driving one of those fast Toyotas. And if there's one guy where you made me bet all my money on them to win this race this weekend, I would go with Martin Truex Jr. He's led over 500 laps in the past 4 races, and it's consistently been one of the best cars this season. And it seems like him and that 78 team have won on different tracks this year, such as Pocono and Sonoma, and New Hampshire could just add to that and build on to their just not the mile-and-a-half car anymore. And this will put them even closer to Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick in the point standings. So that'll do it for 3 Wide this week. Leave your thoughts about New Hampshire in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.